Are you ready? We are exploring how to help yourself and your students set yourselves up for inevitable success in school and in life. And today I've got 2 more do's and don'ts, and my sunglasses are ideal for this next tendency. All right, so here's the tendency that I have seen both among students in academic coaching as well as the educators I train. We have a tendency to hide out doing small tasks that feel productive but don't get us to our goal. That's why I'm wearing my sunglasses, because people hide out, right? What are all the things you do that feel productive but are actually in the way of you making progress with that next assignment at school or with that next big goal you have that you're working towards? I really want to know. Put it in the comments down below. Here's how I see it showing up for the educators who have come through my training programs. They want to busy themselves with things that they think are going to help them get their academic coaching business started, right? Like it's like, oh, maybe I better go get cards. Oh, and I need a logo, and I need a fancy name, and I need a website, and I need a URL. Oh, maybe I need an office. How about I go get myself, pay rent somewhere? These are all the things they're doing because they're afraid to be seen. They're afraid to actually go out and get their first client before they do all of that. They're afraid to get started without it all being perfect first. So what's the solution? Do whatever you do visibly. The wisdom of being seen. Now, if you've been following the series, I have another one that is the wisdom of imperfect action, and those two go hand in hand. Stop hiding. Go out and get a client. Tell people what you're doing, even if you don't even know how to say it. So many people come to me saying, I don't even know how to describe what it means to be an academic coach. Yeah, I get it. It's hard. There are many places in the world who don't really know what that means. That doesn't mean you can't be sloppy, though, and be passionate and tell people what you're starting and find out if there are students who want to work with you. Totally possible. Now, I know I'm talking about edupreneurs right now, but actually, I do want to talk about what this means for students. It looks a little different for students, and I wonder if you all have seen this in the students who you work with. They actually often hide out doing lots of creative tasks. Once we have unlocked, like, oh, you can study in creative ways, and it's like, oh, I get to have pretty colors, and I get to copy my notes, and I get to do this creative thing and that creative thing. But is it getting them towards their goal? Their goal of learning, their goal of a good grade, whatever that goal is? Often they're doing those things because they feel good. And it feels like they might be learning, but they're not really learning. So for them, the solution to do things visibly, the wisdom of being seen, this isn't exactly an accurate match, right? So what would be the wisdom for these folks who are hiding out in their creativity rather than paying attention to what they're learning? I would love to hear your thoughts about that down below. But we have one more tendency we need to cover in this video, though it's not related to hiding out, so we don't need the sunglasses anymore. Aren't these cool, by the way? Pair eyewear. I'm having so much fun with these. Here we have the tendency to believe that you have to do things all by yourself. This one, everybody falls prey to. Students, adults, educators, edupreneurs. The amount we all allow ourselves to struggle by ourselves before we reach out to get any help is staggering, actually. Staggering. It's going to bug me. So I love being a curly girl. But curly hair just has a mind of its own, don't you think? Okay, so what is the solution here? Don't do it alone. The wisdom of leaning on other people. I am becoming more and more passionate about catching myself trying to think I have to do things all by myself, catching other people at that belief, friends, family, clients, adults in my training program. We will all be more successful with whatever it is we choose to do, if we remember that we can invite people to our party, we can have co-working sessions. We can call someone up and just say, hey, can I talk this thing out loud? We can, oh my God, there are just so many ways we can involve other people in helping us get from where we are now to where we need to go. We don't have to do it by ourselves. I mean, yeah, in school, you kind of have to take the test by yourself. I get it. We haven't actually improved education so much that we've moved beyond testing. So that you got to do by yourself. But on your journey to taking the test, you don't have to do it by yourself. How can you study with other people? Coaches, teachers, tutors out there, how do you support students in advocating for themselves and involving other people on their journey to making the grade? That's what I want to know. I've got a couple empowering questions that might help you in that direction. The first one is reminiscent of another one that I have talked about in the wisdom of incrementality. But what's the next smallest thing you can do to be visible now? Another question related to this would be, how are you hiding behind that? How is actually getting the business cards or working on the website allowing you to hide from a task that would actually allow you to be more visible now? So that was just a longer question. I couldn't fit it on this card, but that would be a really empowering question to ask yourself or students you're working with. And then this one. We need to ask this over and over and over ad nauseum, almost for any task that a student leaves a session or leaves a class thinking or putting on their to-do list. Who's on your team? How can they help with that task? How can they help remind you? How can they help provide accountability? How can they talk things out with you? You don't have to do it alone. Who's on your team? Who's on your team? Who's on your team? I dare you all to ask this every time you're with students. Get them to take 30 seconds to think through who is on their team. And speaking of which, who is on your team? I hope that you consider me a team member, and I would love to invite you to go pick up a free gift I have for people who want to have me on their team at gretchenwegner.com/secret. And there you'll find my secrets to unlocking student learning, and even more exciting, you'll get on my newsletter list. If you want to be on it, you can unsubscribe if you don't. Happy for you to keep the free gift and unsubscribe. But hang out for a little bit on my list, because that you will be hearing more and more ways that I am working some magic in the world to help create a place where we can all be team members for each other on our task to support ourselves and our students achieve inevitable success in school and in life. There's one more video in this series, so hang tight. It's coming soon.